Midnight in the Hudson Valley. A convoy of unmarked armored trucks rolls through gates, guarded by men with sidearms and retinal scanners. Inside each vehicle, dented steel drums holding 20 tons of molten possibility door bars fresh from Nevada mines, electronic graveyards, and forgotten jewelry boxes. They have traveled thousands of miles to reach this place, a windowless citadel of stainless steel and silence known officially as the United States Bullion Depository at West Point, unofficially America's last alchemical temple. Here, beneath humming ventilation systems and under lights that never dim, raw earth will be reborn as perfection. Not 99.9%, not 99.99%, but 4 nines of purity so absolute it borders on the metaphysical. This is the story of how America transforms chaos into certainty, one atom at a time. The drums arrive scarred and humble-pitted surfaces crusted with oxides, their contents a geological democracy of metals. A single bar might contain gold wrested from Nevada's Carlin Trend at 3,000 feet underground, silver from Colorado's ghost mines, copper wiring stripped from a Silicon Valley server farm, platinum traces from a catalytic converter in Detroit, mercury residues from artisanal mines in Ghana. This is gold as nature made it, impure, compromised, human. It has known dirt and desperation, but tonight, it enters a realm where compromise is heresy. A forklift deposits the first drum before Maria Vasquez, senior assayer, a woman who speaks of metals like old friends. She drills a core sample with surgical precision. The shavings fall into a crucible no larger than a thimble. Todo depende de este momento, she murmurs. Everything depends on this moment. In the fire assay furnace, the sample vanishes in 1,100 degrees Celsius fury. What emerges a tiny bead of metal is weighed on a scale sensitive to 1/1,000,000th of a gram. The verdict flashes on her screen: 87.3%. Ow. The room exhales. The alchemy can begin. The door bars enter the crucible room, a cathedral of heat where the air shimmers and safety glass fogs instantly. Here, 20-foot induction furnaces hum a C-sharp note felt in the teeth. Molten gold pools like liquid sunset at 2,000 degrees Fahrenheit, its surface dancing with trapped gases. This is where the Miller process performs its brutal triage. Through ceramic lances, chlorine gas hisses into the magma. A chemical exorcism begins. Silver flees first forming silver chloride that rises like ghostly foam. Copper follows, then zinc, then lead all surrendering their atoms to the chlorine's embrace. The slag is skimmed away in iridescent sheets, still glowing cherry red, as it's dumped into water, with a sound like 1,000 sighs. After 90 minutes, the remaining gold tests at 99.5% pure. Respectable, bankable, but not enough. For 4 nines, fire alone is insufficient. You need electricity. You need time. You need the Woolwill cell. Down a corridor, lined with Faraday cages, lies the heart of the operation. A vault holding 30 electrolytic cells, each the size of a coffin. This is where gold transcends metallurgy and enters the realm of quantum precision. Technician David Chen guides me to cell hash 7. Inside, an impure gold anode thick as a dictionary hangs suspended in a bath of chloroauric acid, a solution the color of weak tea. Opposite it, a cathode of pure titanium gleams under LED strips. Watch closely, David says. This is where patience becomes power. He flips a switch. A current weaker than a smartphone charger begins to flow. For 72 hours, this whisper of electricity will perform a miracle. Gold atoms at the anode surrender electrons and dissolve into the prose solution. They drift, migrating like pilgrims through the electrolyte. At the cathode, they reclaim electrons and deposit themselves in perfect crystalline layers. Impurities? Silver forms insoluble sludge. Platinum sinks. Copper stays dissolved. Only gold crosses the divide. It's not force, David explains, wiping condensation from the cell's viewport. It's invitation. We don't make the gold pure. We create conditions where purity is the only choice left. After 3 days, the cathode emerges sheathed in a fragile gold foil, 99.999% pure. One more melting, and it will become bullion. In the casting bay, the refined gold returns to liquid state one final time. But now it moves differently, smoother, quieter, as if aware of its transformation. It flows into graphite molds with the grace of poured honey. As it cools, something extraordinary happens. The surface develops a rose gold blush, a fleeting optical phenomenon caused by near-perfect crystalline alignment. Refiners call it the blush of truth. It lasts 90 seconds before fading to the familiar yellow. Those who've seen it speak of it like witnesses to a sacrament. Each bar is stamped with a serial number laser-etched to 0.01 millimeters precision. Then comes the final trial. XRF spectroscopy. A handheld device hovers over the bar. Green light. A chime. The screen reads, 99.994% OG, 0.0003% Q, 0.002% other, 0.001%. The room falls silent. Maria nods once. The bar is wrapped in anti-tamper film, sealed in a steel cassette, and logged into a blockchain ledger that will track it until doomsday. This obsession with purity is uniquely American, a nation born from gold rushes yet haunted by fraud. In 1849, miners bit nuggets to test authenticity. In 1933, FDR confiscated private gold to stabilize a broken economy. Today, in an age of meme, stocks, and digital currencies, 99% pure gold represents something radical. A promise kept across centuries. When the Federal Reserve vaults beneath Manhattan hold these bars, they're not storing metal. They're storing trust made tangible, a covenant that some things remain uncorrupted even when everything else dissolves into noise. Epilogue. The last truck leaves at dawn. As sunrise bleeds over the Hudson, the final truck departs West Point carrying $28 million in perfected gold. Inside, bars gleam under blacklight, each serial number a fingerprint of human will. Back in the refining hall, Maria Vasquez wipes down her workstation. On her desk sits a small dish holding gold granules too fine for casting waste product, technically, but she won't discard them. Later, she'll melt them into a pendant for her granddaughter. Even impurity has purpose, she says, holding a granule to the light. But perfection? Perfection is what we owe the future. Outside, the gates seal shut. The alchemists return to their stations. And deep within America's gold factory, another drum of raw earth begins its journey toward the sun.